Anybody that's out there doing that, everybody that's in politics is disposable once they've served their purpose. So I would think that in your position, sir, that you would be looking for to get rid of the waste and move on to something productive. Okay.
Okay, he thinks that we should be looking for the waste and getting rid of the non-productive. I think we have. I think we have. Unless you can give me something. What?
It's always going to be there.
See, it's always going to be there. This is one of the problems. Nobody nails anything down. It's always get rid of them. Too much spending, too much fat. Nail something down. Yes, Nicole.
You said that it was going to cost us You said it was going to cost $30,000 to do a job search for an administrator. Can you hear it? Okay. So we all heard that it was going to cost $30,000 to do a job search for an administrator. I disagree with that. You set $30,000 aside to find a headhunter to do that. But there are associations that are free, such as the International City Managers Association, where you simply post the job description and then the resumes come to you. Then you weed out the resumes of people who have degrees and educations in this, who have previous history in running cities the size of our city or our county, and then you bring them in, you start with your telephone interviews. I do not think that we have the best administrator. We have a local administrator with too many ties, and we have seen that office used for political purposes to also, as Ms. Fant was harmed. She was put on a notice of no trespass, which was not even appropriate or in the laws. So I disagree that we have the best administrator, and I disagree that it would take $30,000 to find another one.
I agree.
All right. Okay, let me answer. Let me speak to that and answer that question. The $30,000. I think Mr. Moore brought that up last year during the budget meeting, that we wanted to set aside $30,000 to go out and do the interview. So I'm just using that number. I don't know where it came from, but 30 grand was brought up at the budget meeting. Okay. I didn't say Rusty was the best administrator in the world, but I think he's doing a very good job. Look at the amount of industry that's come in here so far, and there's more coming. Huh?
We're buying the industry. That's right.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, we were talking this morning about subsidies. What about the subsidy that we're giving the new industry coming here? That's a subsidy, okay? Where do you get that subsidy from? You get it from the homeowners. And I'm for economic development, but Rusty's job is not economic development. We got a whole department of people doing economic development. Rusty's job is to run the personnel of this county, period.
Okay.
Would you, in the back, shut up and listen to what's being talked about here? If you are not interested, leave the room. However, if you would prefer to be rude about it, I'm going to come back and embarrass you. Got it? Okay.
Thank you.
Now, be quiet and listen to the man, and I'll allow the others to speak. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Now shut up.
All right. The question was about fee in lieu of. That's the game that's played to draw industry in. If we did not do that and left the tax rate for industry at 10%, we would have nothing. Nothing here in Anderson County. Is that the way you want to do it?
Lower the whole rate.
Okay, let me speak to that. Lower the whole rate. Or Ann, do you want to? You can speak if you want to on this.
I do just want to say that is something that we're actually getting ready to take up next week. We have already had a whole committee been studying this for like the last 6 months, and this is one of those things where the state actually said, no special interest groups, we don't want to hear from you. We're going to set up this committee and we're going to study it, and that bill is actually coming to the House floor where we're going to drop the manufacturing rate from 10.5% to 6%. One thing to say, you know, about the things that he's addressing, you know, unfortunately, this is what it takes to get jobs. We're no longer competing with from county to county or state to state. We're actually competing globally, and it's tough. But you know, if we would level the playing field, because once again, you end up picking winners and losers. This guy gets a real good deal, and this one doesn't get such a good deal. It should be even, so everybody can come in and try and have the same deal. And we're not doing this fee in lieu of, because it really gets the different counties and what have you in trouble. But we are working on that, and that's coming up next week. I do expect that to pass the House, and I would hope the Senate. So.
Yeah.
And let me add one thing to that. We need to be careful, and Ann may know more about this than I do, because I only heard a number. If we drop the tax rate down to 6 or 4% or something like that, we're going to lose a lot of money to the schools. I'm not sure exactly. The schools, okay, the schools are already complaining now that they're only getting, what, a little over $1,800 a year per student. It should be $2,700. Was it that for state?
That's state money. They're getting almost $13,000 per student. So, I mean, that's a lot of money going. But also, we're also looking at doing business, not just, I mean, 95% of South Carolina businesses are small businesses, and everything rides on their back, because, you know, the bigger businesses get fee in lieu of. What do the small businesses ever get except tax increases? And so the next thing that we're looking at is raising their property taxes, or lowering their property taxes from 6 to 5. And we are gonna, that's gonna be planned, because you're right, it's gonna be a loss to the state and to the counties. And so we have to plan that in order to take care of that.
And that's all I'm making you aware of, is that there will be a loss involved in that if we do it. It'll be good for industry, but there's going to be a loss on the other end of that stick. So just to be aware.
Okay.
I love to do this, but Rick's pushing me here. He said he's got to hurry up and get going because it's going to rain or something.
Yeah. Well, Tom, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. If you want to talk to Tom, you're going to stick around a little bit, you know, after everybody breaks up a little bit. Okay, so you can talk to him one-on-one. We got to get on. I think Councilman Eddie Moore has got to get out of here. He's got an appointment coming up, and so here's an opportunity for him. Cindy Wilson just came in. We'll allow Cindy to say a few words as well.
Thank you, everybody. First of all, I want to thank Rick for doing this today. This is a good forum for everybody to be able to get out and see the council members and the state house members and all your elected officials. We really need more of this, really all around the county, so that people can get involved in exactly what's going on. It's a good thing, and I'm glad he's doing this. And hopefully maybe we can move around the county some, and all the council members and state house members and all elected officials can come around. I did announce it and did file yesterday. I am running for re-election. I've always appreciated your support, and it's going to be an interesting year this year, and we don't always agree. I guess I'm probably more conservative than a lot of my fellow council members, but you know, that's the way I was born. I have moved 100 yards below my house where I was born and raised. I've never moved out of the county. A lot of times it's hard for some of my fellow council members that maybe were not part of Anderson County their whole lives. They don't understand the conservative values that we have in this part of the country. I think that a lot of the questions that I was listening to Tom was getting, Tom probably has a hard time understanding why that we're so conservative in this area. But it's the way we were born and bred. And my daddy always told me that, hey, I don't care how much it costs, somebody steals from me, I want them in jail. And that's just the way I look at it. And I don't put a price on justice. And you know, I know we spent a lot of money on the investigation, but there's a lot of good things that's come out of it. It's teaching us what we shouldn't do to run a county and what we should do. And it's the best money, as far as I'm concerned, that we've ever spent. It's hard for a lot of people to understand that, but you know, I'll continue to vote as long as there's questions out there and we need answered. And you know, the bottom line is, how much money can you put on justice? And you know, it's very much entrenched in this county. It has been for a long time. And if you go to other parts, I've been to a lot of the Association of Counties meetings, and you know, most of my fellow council members, besides Ms. Floyd, she goes, but I have been to every one of them. And I go to them because I want to hear what they think about Anderson County. And Anderson County does not have a good name. And a lot of people talk about how corrupt Anderson County is and how deep it is in politics. If we're ever going to change Anderson County, sometimes you have to step up to the plate, and sometimes you have to spend money in order to do it. And getting justice, I think, is the best thing. Hey, I might go down in defeat this year, but you will say one thing: I have never wavered about my convictions on this county. Thank you.
Councilman Eddie Moore, District 3, running for re-election. As we move along, Cindy Wilson just came in, and we will try to give her an opportunity to say a few words. She's been pushed up and so forth for quite a while. Everybody is busy these days, and as busy as they can possibly be. Ed Oglin's here. Well, I'll Ed and say a word or two as well. Cindy, if you would, say a few words. I have the challenger for Tommy Dunn back there, too, who's going to be talking.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you so much for your service as voters and taxpayers and staying involved and informed, because if you didn't, we wouldn't have gotten this far, because believe me, our county has been probably one of the most corrupt counties in the nation. And the only way we have gotten to this point is because of you. And I can't thank you enough for your prayers. I can't thank Mr. Driver and his station and our media, the Little Williamston Journal, for helping to keep informed, and all the person-to-person contacts that each of you have made. We've got a long ways yet to go. We've made some progress. My campaign slogan from the very beginning has been open, honest, accountable local government. We are now doing pretty well with sunshine laws. We still have a ways to go. I think what news broke this week regarding a former councilman, I think you're only seeing the tip of the iceberg there. I think you're going to find that your taxpayer money was spent to form political action committees, spent on legal, I guess, slap suits and so forth. You have no real idea what took place in this county. And we're going to all have to work together to get it cleaned up and moving forward again. The good news is we do have some economic development coming into the county, and it's because of you folks. We have people in this county, which is our best resource, that charm people coming from out of the area. When they see the work ethic here and the ethics of the regular folks, you bring a lot to the table in charming industry to come here. I heard a little bit about the economic development issues. Your council did write a resolution recently respectfully requesting our General Assembly to bring down the industrial tax assessment ratio from 10.5% to 4%. You can't just shut the door. It has to be a phase-in, and thanks to Ann Thayer and her colleagues, they're now starting to look at it. I've begged for it for about 10 years, because with our being a river county to Georgia, it's a standing method that they use in Georgia. If we're competing with an industry with Georgia, they can give 0 over there. So that's what we're competing against. It's not fair, and I think that in the coming couple of years, we need to work together collectively so that all businesses get the best tax breaks possible. Because our small business actually is the main generator. When we have companies like First Quality, that's just an awesome shot in the arm. But our small businesses statistically still produce the biggest job creation. We've got a lot to do, and I appreciate each and every one of you. There's so many subjects we need to touch base on. If y'all have any questions, I'm available after the meeting here, and thank you all very much.
Thanks, Cindy. Representative Cindy Wilson. Also, Ed Allgood wanted to say a word or two. He's not going to talk about tires right now, though.
I think he's wrong. If you don't buy your tires from Allgood, something's wrong with you. Oh, I hadn't said I'm going to run yet. If I don't have enough support that comes out that's willing to make calls, because I won't be running against Tom Allen. He's a nice fella. I like Tom. I just tell you the truth. Good guy. But Rusty Burns is who actually is running the show. He'd be who I'd be running against. He's the person that ran against me when I ran last time. It wasn't Tom. It was Rusty. And I just disagree with the management style. That I think we ought to sue Preston, but I think we ought to hire our own lawyer. I think we could have got by for $200,000 or $300,000 instead of $1 million. We went at it an expensive way. It's a lack of management choice. I believe for management choice, we don't even have a decision that I'm aware of as what we plan to do in our county. That I haven't ever seen them sit down and say, you know, this is where we're going to be 10 years from now. This is how we get there. This is the money we have to get, and where does it come from to do it? Maybe we can't afford to lose $400,000 or $500,000 on the Civic Center. Maybe we have to take that from a 10-year money to look at it as $4 million, and we put it in an assisted senior living complex and create another 20 or 40,000 jobs in our county. It's a choice. Do you want the jobs or not? The schools are paid the salaries by the state. The tax bill, the other one, is on the borrowing money, but industry does pay on the tax. And in relation to the jobs and the money can be saved, I'm thinking we need to lower it more than the House is doing, because we have to compete with our neighboring states. Georgia does get you down to zero. They loan you money and give you grants to get there, and you don't have to have a one employee either. That's a thing that, how do you get started if you don't have $5 million to start? We have a lot of people who don't have $5 million in our county like to be in business. I mean, think about it. It's ridiculous. We can make it where people can come here, enjoy a job, and work. And this can be a safe, viable place to live with a low tax rate. When we was there before, we didn't raise taxes. We didn't raise millage. We ended up with a little bit more money came in because everything grew. We got so many businesses that come in. They cut them off. It can come back. It's a choice of the council what we have, and I appreciate you. If you really want me to run, you're going to have to give me a name and address and be willing that you are going to work enough to get me elected and beat Rusty. Otherwise, I have no reason to register if I don't have support. I thank you. Thank you.
Hey folks, Rick's offered me the microphone for just a second here. For those of you that don't know me, and most of you do, I'm Dan Harvell, chairman of the local Anderson County Republican Party. I just wanted to let you know that we have our monthly meeting coming up Monday night. If you'll be there at 6:30, we will feed you first. And the program this month is a little bit different. My son Riley Harvell and I are doing a PowerPoint presentation, which also has video included in it, to show you how to argue, how to debate liberals. My son was state debate champion and had 6 full ride scholarships to universities because of his debate capabilities, and he's put together something here that we're going to present that I think you'll really enjoy. It's how to kind of make your point and have a good time at the same time with these liberal wackos that we just cannot understand their train of thought. But anyway, 6:30 Monday night at Concord Community Church. That is on Concord Road, right across from Grayland Subdivision, or actually more across from Smithfield Subdivision. Smithbrook? Okay, all right. Anyway, if you just come out Concord Road from North Main, you know where the old Butterbeans restaurant used to be on the right. You just continue to go, and about halfway between there and Concord Baptist Church, there is Concord Community Church, which is a metal building church. It's on the right. Please come join us at 6:30. We'll feed you well and look forward to seeing you. Thank you.
Monday. Dan ain't from around here, by the way. You remember the directions you used to get when you got lost somewhere, out somewhere that you didn't know where the heck you were, and you stopped by and asked this old fellow who looked like he was about 400 years old, you know where Fred Thompson lived? Yeah, you remember where Junior Johnson used to live? Of course, he died 30 years ago. But well, you know, we all do that. We all fall victim to that. By the way, on the Catergate thing, I investigated that myself. Yes, he was guilty and is guilty. So is the stormwater queen has sinned. And I'll stand up in front of God and everybody and tell them the same thing. That's just the way it is. And I've got the proof of the two witnesses who saw the act, and you don't want me to talk about that either. Rich. Well, you won't. I ain't giving you this microphone. You say pretty please. Still no.
Thank you for coming over here to this. Thank you for coming over here to this.
You need to stand up.
I'm the one that's always picking at people because we can't hear, because I can't hear. And in council, I'm always saying, I can't hear you. But anyway, over on this side, somebody wanted to make a comment and they didn't want to ask it themselves, so I'm asking it. They wanted to ask it of Tom Allen. Why was he worried about the cost of the investigation when they just have given away $375,000 of our tax dollars for this EOC partnership? Right. So I'm asking the question for somebody else over here. And the second thing is, that $2.5 million is not all the cost of the county. A whole lot of that money has been to refute the harassment suits that have been from the other individuals who stepped in to stop the investigation.
Oh yeah, I can tell you a little bit about that. This ain't my first rodeo in